Let's talk about a language that's been the backbone of serious software for, wow, 3 decades now: Java. We're going to pull back the curtain and really get into why it's still such a powerhouse for modern backend development.
So, if you're a developer, you know this feeling, right? You're kicking off a new project and you're just staring at this ocean of options. Do you go with the hot new thing or do you stick with something that's been battle tested for years? It's a huge decision and it pretty much shapes everything that comes after.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into why Java is still a beast for backend work. Then we'll pinpoint the exact scenarios where it really shines. After that, we'll check out the essential tools, get real about its challenges, and finally, zoom out to see the big picture for Java's role today. Okay, first things first, why even consider Java for the backend? Let's break down the core strengths that have given it such incredible staying power.
You know, Java's entire identity can be traced back to this one absolutely game-changing idea: the promise that you could write your code one time and it would just work anywhere, on any operating system.
Yeah, this principle is famously called WARA. It was this huge promise that you wouldn't have to waste time rewriting or tweaking your code for every different type of computer. But how does Java actually pull off this magic trick?
Well, the secret sauce is something called the Java Virtual Machine, or JVM. The best way to think of it is as a universal translator. Your Java code gets compiled into this middleman format called bytecode. Then, the JVM on any machine, whether it's a Windows PC, a Mac, or a Linux server, takes that bytecode and translates it into the specific language that computer understands. It's this clever step that makes Java so incredibly portable.
And the perks don't stop there, not by a long shot. Java was literally built to scale, to handle huge amounts of traffic with things like automatic memory management. The ecosystem, it's gigantic. After 30 years, there's a library or a framework for pretty much anything you can dream up. Security's baked right in, the community is massive, so you're never truly stuck. And thanks to some really smart modern features, its performance is absolutely rock solid. Okay, so we know why it's so powerful, but let's get practical. When is Java the absolute best choice for your project? This is where you really see those strengths in action. I mean, if you're building a massive, complex system for a bank, you need reliability, and that's Java's bread and butter. Running a huge e-commerce site, its ability to handle sudden traffic surges is a lifesaver. Building a payment gateway or a healthcare app, security is everything, and Java delivers. And for a language with so much history, it's surprisingly great for modern microservices, all thanks to some really slick, lightweight frameworks. So what's it actually like to build with Java? Let's open up the developer's toolkit and look at the features and tools you'd be using every day. At its heart, Java is all about object-oriented programming. This just means you build your software using these modular objects, kind of like digital Lego bricks. And this approach is fantastic for taming the complexity of huge back-end systems because it helps you keep your code organized, reusable, and way easier to fix or upgrade down the line. And Java is definitely not stuck in the past. It's totally cloud native. It plays nice with AWS, Google Cloud, you name it. Its ability to handle tons of requests at the same time, that's called multi-threading, is absolutely critical for any modern web server. And connecting to pretty much any database out there is a breeze, thanks to rock-solid tools that have been refined for years. And here's the best part. You almost never have to build from scratch. The frameworks in the Java world are like giving developers superpowers. You've got Spring Boot, which gets a new app up and running in minutes. Hibernate just completely takes the headache out of talking to databases. Apache Struts helps keep massive projects from turning into a tangled mess. And then you have something modern like Micronaut, built from the ground up for super fast, lightweight microservices. Okay, but let's be real for a minute. No technology is perfect. So to give you the whole story, we have to talk about some of the challenges you should definitely keep in mind if you're going to work with Java. All that power comes with a few strings attached. While Java can be incredibly fast, getting it there sometimes requires a real expert to fine-tune the code, the database calls, and the JVM itself. There's also the fact that it can be a bit of a memory hog. And for folks just starting out, that learning curve can feel pretty steep. Getting your head around all those programming principles and that giant ecosystem, it takes time. And you can really get a sense of what we mean by higher memory usage here. Because of that JVM and all the automatic stuff it does for you, like garbage collection, a Java app often uses more memory than a similar app built in a leaner language. It's a trade-off, plain and simple. You're trading a bit of memory for all that power and platform independence.
So with all that said, let's zoom out. Where does Java actually stand today, and what's its place in the tech world going forward?
When you put all the pieces together, the conclusion is pretty clear. Java is still, without a doubt, a top-tier choice for server-side development. If you're building a big, important application where security, stability, and performance are absolutely non-negotiable, it's still one of the smartest and safest bets you can make. And that kind of leaves us with this one big question to chew on. After 3 decades of powering so much of our digital world, is Java's incredible legacy of stability its greatest strength, or is it the final chapter before newer, faster languages take over? The debate is definitely still raging, but for right now, Java's spot on the back end isn't going anywhere.